Hello, hello. I thought I would try and get just in under the wire. Actually, it doesn't matter even if I don't get under the wire. I'd like to participate in Rick McDonald's Booktube Spin number 5, where, as in all the other Booktube Spin, you select 20 books off your TBR or books that you actually own. I try and confine it to books I actually own versus the TBR because I have so many books I own that I haven't read. And you select 1 to 20, and he will spin the wheel. Actually, he's going to spin the wheel twice. And the numbers that come up are the ones that you get to read before, I think it's March the 31st. You have until then to read them. You could do 1 or you could do 2. I've got some books on here that are jeezily long that I think I would just pick the 1. But if it's a short book, maybe, yeah, then I'll have that second book up. Last Booktube Spin, through some kind of mechanisms of my own, I ended up reading 3 books. I think Trollope biography of the Victorian novelist Anthony Trollope came up as one of the picks. So I read another one of the book off of the thing, which was Anthony Trollope's autobiography before I read Trollope, which was good because, boy, this shows up in here a lot, and it's really interesting, the contrasts. And the other book that was on there was Inferno by Eileen Myles, which I just finished just recently, so it was very good timing to see Rick's face back up there for Booktube Spin number 5. Really enjoyed this book, and I'm still struggling with my review on that, but yeah, so I keeping within just all the little inspiration stuff, I did what's on my Kindle, what lurks on my Kindle tag a while ago. Something that was Michael K. Vaughan did a video of like what lurks on my Kindle, not meaning to turn it into a tag, very innocent like that way, but Steve Donoghue came along and weaponized it into a really cool tag where he's like, hey, go back through your Kindle. What's on there that you have bought but have never gotten around to reading? And this is obviously a really another good repository of stuff that I own. I don't have to spend any money whatsoever. That, hey, maybe I should actually get off my ass and read. So I am the first. I think it's 7 books on here are from that tag. So I'm not going to go over these in depth, and I'm not going to bother doing all the editing to put up the pictures there, but let's get on to the book. So yeah, the first 7 books on my Booktube Spin list are going to be from my Kindle. Here, there, visual aid, my Kindle. They're all little electronic files on here. Number 1 for me will be Children of Earth and Sky, Guy Gaveriel Kay. It's 2016 book set in a world inspired by the conflicts and dramas of Renaissance Europe. Guy Gaveriel Kay takes historical periods and kind of puts a fantasy overlay on them, but keeps all the kind of historical complexities and nuances of real history in his fantasy book. So yeah, he's one of these guys that I'll read one of his books, go, he's amazing, and then never get back around to another one of his books for years and years, and then I'll read another one and go, why didn't I read another one? And it's like, yeah. So Children of Earth and Sky by Gaveriel Kay. Number 2, Ninefox Gambit, Yoon Ha Lee, first of a science fiction trilogy, which I discovered I actually own 2/3 of the trilogy on this Kindle. I discovered that in the course of doing the what lurks on my Kindle tag. So yeah, it sounds like a kind of a cool sci-fi trilogy, so I'm interested in that. Number 3, Lesser Bohemians, Eimear McBride, a stream of consciousness, kind of contemporary lit fix, lots of prizes. I think I actually read like the first chapter of it, went, oh, this is good, I'll have to get back around to it, and then didn't. Number 4 is The Emperor's Babe by Bernardine Evaristo, 2004 book, which was recommended by Mike Frost. At that point, the postmodern prognosticator, now just goes by Mike Frost on his channel. He recommended this novel in verse, set in, what is it? in the third century London, with a feisty, precocious Zulika, daughter of a Sudanese immigrant, made good and restless teenage bride of a rich Roman businessman, craves passion and excitement. When she begins an affair with the emperor, Septimus Severus, she knows her life will never be the same. And yeah, it's told in verse. So yeah, I'm really interested to try that, and then maybe go on with other Bernardine Evaristo books. I hear she made good. Number 5 is Blonde by Joyce Carol Oates. This was an Eric Carroll Anderson kind of recommendation of like somewhere to, well, I don't know if he recommended to start there, but I decided that was where I was going to start with Joyce Carol Oates in this 754 page novel. One of the thumpers. Going on to the next thumper. Number 6 is The Catholic School by Edoardo Albinati. Albinati, a 2019 1,280 page novel that Steve Donoghue was pushing, and I apparently purchased because of that. It won the Strega Literary Prize in native Italy, but of course, as Steve would tell you, the most important thing is that it is Steve Donoghue endorsed, and that of course is the thing that we should all use to do all our reading by. Number 7 is Piranesi by Susanna Clark. I loved Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and so I should really actually get over whatever hesitations I have to read that. And number 8 is Zendigi by Greg Egan. I kind of put this on the list just because it's the oldest thing on my Kindle, and I've never gotten to it. I should give it a try. I should really give it a try. Very hard science fiction set in Iran during the near future. This was written in 2010, so it might be past by now, and deals with mapping the human brain, virtual reality, and the democratizing of Iran. So yeah, I'll have to give that a try. So yeah, that's everything from my Kindle. See, I have my prop here, and then we'll go on to books that, yes, you've seen me hold up before on this list stuff. Here, I'll try reading blurbs this time. The Long Ships by Franz G. Benkinson. This is a part of Rick McDonald's actually beloved NYRB, and I've got autofocus on, NYRB book publishing firm that I think he collects these, Rick does. What does it say? This extraordinary saga of epic adventure on land and sea is a masterpiece of historical fiction. Not the least of the rewards of reading Mr. Benkinson's gorgeous romance is the sly humor that is sprinkled throughout it. And that's from Orville Prescott of the New York Times, being enthusiastic about that. The next one is Tad Williams, another Rick McDonald favorite. What does Amazing Stories say about it? For readers who discovered Tad Williams through his Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn fantasy cycle, Shadow March will be an unreserved treat. Tad Williams is one of fantasy's most skilled practitioners, and definitely one that loves to write rather large books. So what do we have next? We have number 11. We have The Monkey King, which my Havanese says is delicious. Yum, 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 yum. Here's from Hajin, an exhilarating new translation of my favorite of all the classic Chinese novels, a great wild epic that expands and fires one's imagination. So that sounds quite good. Number 12, which I picked up while I was in Italy, which in what seems like a lifetime ago, and the time before, is Arturo's Island by Elsa Morante. Winner of the Strega Prize, which has came up before with the Catholic School. Elena Ferrante said, I deeply love the works of Elsa Morante. I try to learn from her books, but I find them unsurpassable. So yes, big fans there. Number 13, Paying the Land by Joe Sacco. From the heir to R. Crumb and Art Spiegelman, The Economist, a masterly work of comic journalism about indigenous North America, resource extraction, and our debt to the natural world. Yeah, yeah. So I've been looking forward to kind of getting down with that. That's the graphic novel by Joe Sacco, who is a journalist, cartoonist. Yes. Number 14, The Golden Spruce by John Valiant. Who, man, who needs a blurb when you got, that mug on the back of there? Yeah, it's a true story of myth, madness, and greed of nonfiction work, just detailing a golden spruce and its fate. Its fate. So that would be interesting. Number 15, Canlit classic, A Complicated Kindness by Miriam Toews, who I know Rick has a kind of complicated relationship with, or very kind of hit and miss in what he's actually like. This one is the winner, Governor General. What is the New York Times says, which, as a Canadian, I want to hear what the New York Times has to say about Canadian authors. Brilliant. There is beauty and compassion in Toews' portrait of Naomi's struggle. A darkly funny and provocative novel, says the Oprah magazine. Exquisitely written and faceted, heartbreaking and humorous. From beginning to end, the book is unusually calibrated and incredibly compelling. Blur, 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 blur. So yeah, this one's definitely got a lot of blurbs. Number 16, The New Arabian Nights by R.L. Stevenson, from the author of works like The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, comes this, I don't know if we've got, long admired by lovers of Stevenson, yet overlooked in recent years by American readers. These stories are among the most beautifully written of Stevenson's canon. Alive with wit, humor, and excitement, they show a master storyteller at the height of his powers. Maybe overlooked by Canadian readers as well, but we'll see. So yes, that is the number 16. And we circle back into Canlit again with A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mistry, who is one of these guys I heard his name so much, and of this book especially, but I never actually read Rohinton Mistry, and I've heard a lot of good things about him. The Guardian, a masterpiece of illumination and grace. Like all great fiction, it transforms our understanding of life. Few have caught the real sorrow and inexplicable strength of India, the unaccountable crookedness and sweetness, as well as mystery. So yeah, it's set in mid 1970s India, and yeah, I've always meant to actually read him. So this is what this Booktube Spin is about, is actually getting you to kind of read stuff. Number 18 is The Windup Bird Chronicle by Haruki Murakami. I've read a fair bit of him, but I was kind of doing it in chronological order, but I just sort of stopped. So yeah, I should try getting back into that. What is the Washington Post Book World says? Mesmerizing, Murakami's most ambitious attempt yet to stuff all of modern Japan into a single fictional edifice. A significant advance in Murakami's art, a bold and generous book, says the New York Times. Yes, so we shall see. Number 19, The Rotters Club by Jonathan Coe, who I've read a couple of books and always enjoy him, but I haven't read him again in a while. What is it? The Oregonian says, the gritty cross-pond equivalent to Look Homeward Angel. The pangs of embarrassment, the anguish of uncertainty, the awkwardness of success are vividly present here, says Mike Francis from the Oregonian. So yes, the Rotters Club. And then number 20, because, what would my list be without The Loser by Thomas Bernhardt, the no paragraph break, one single block of text novel by this fellow who I believe, I'm not even going to say, but yes, I'm pretty sure who is it translated by? Let's see. Translated from the German by Jack Dawson. What does it say? On the front, it's a complex and unsettling novel about genius and obsession, mirroring the thought process of a compulsive mind, from the New York Times Book Review. So yes, that's number 20. All right. that is my list of 20, and I guess I will tune in on to which hopefully is tomorrow. I guess we'll see. On the 14th, Rick is actually going to do the spin, and we'll find out. We'll find out. Will I get a gigantic thumper like the Catholic school? I think the Catholic school is probably the largest on my list. Or will I get a small one? If I get a small one, I'll probably do another one. I'll look at what number 2 is on the thing. Number 1 is the one I'm committed to. The first spin is the one I will commit to, and the second one will be my optional one, and we'll see how we go from there. All right. Thank you, Rick. I really love this. I really love this thing. I really enjoyed digging out books that I had never gotten to, and maybe never would have gotten to. But this is, for some reason, there's just something about that the element of chance in here, which just makes it so much fun. And so I keep coming back for more. All right, more videos later.